Today we are at a junkyard. Today we are looking for new seats. We've got the bench seats, or rather we had the bench seats. They're not currently inside the bus. We had to take them out for a variety of reasons. So while they're out, we thought maybe we would look for a new solution. There have been some problems with the bench seat, which we'll get into later. But anyway, we're looking for new seats. And we don't want to pay full price for brand new seats because they are so expensive and we are so broke. So we've decided that we're going to go to our local salvage yards, junk yards, pull them apart yards, U-Picket yards, auto recycling yards, whatever it is that you want to call them. We're going to head out there because you can find some parts for really cheap if you know what you're doing and you know what you're looking for. So I thought we would talk a little bit about the tools that we bring, because for all of these you do need to bring your own tools. You need to pull everything out yourself. You have to do everything by your wee little lonesome. They're not going to help you out. And I had never been to one before we started doing the bus conversion. We actually got our bench seats from a junkyard, and I was totally unprepared for exactly what I was getting myself into. So we're going to go ahead and get into the tools. So the first thing that we're bringing, and probably the most handy and useful for me, is our driver. We've made sure that it's got a fresh battery, and then with that we're bringing an assortment of bits, and we do have extras. We bring a whole toolbox with us. We are also bringing a screwdriver, and this particular one has other tips and stuff like that that you can put into it, so that is a nice little space saver. We are also bringing a measuring tape because we are working with a confined space, so we need to make sure whatever we're buying fits. Then we've got tin snips. We're working with metal. We never know when we're going to need a pair. Pliers, a crowbar, a hacksaw just to be on the safe side, socket wrenches, and we have them in a variety of sizes. We have one really long one in case we need some extra leverage to get stuff out. We've got wrenches in a variety of sizes, and then we've got WD-40. It's always handy to have some lubricant on hand. Stuff tends to get stuck when it's been sitting out there for a while, so that's always a good thing to bring. And then in our toolbox, we have all of our other socket sizes and drill bits and wrenches and all of the other sizes and stuff that we may need while we're there. It's definitely better to have more of them than less of them. The last time we went, we actually ended up not having the one size that we needed. We had to go to an auto parts store down the street and get it, and then come back and get the seats that we wanted. So we've got all of that. And then personal safety protective gear. It is important to have some of this on hand. So we've got gloves for Michael and gloves for me. And I have only these sad little deerskin gloves because apparently ladies don't need serious gloves, and it's almost impossible to find heavy-duty construction gloves in a size that fits my hands, which is sad. Then we've also got some glasses just in case we're going to be doing something where splinters could be flying off. And it is really bright and really sunny, especially here in Florida, and we are heading into the middle of summer. So I like to bring a number of things for personal use. So one is a hat, so that I get some nice shade because it is so hot and so bright while we're there. I also always bring sunglasses. I bring sunscreen, and I liberally apply it because I don't want to get burnt. We also bring some water with us because it is so hot. And in addition to that, I always make sure to wear long sleeves. One, for the added sun protection, and two, because if I'm sticking my hands in gross things, I want as much of me covered as possible. I also wear long pants and full covering shoes. Unfortunately, I've got to go straight into the hiking boots because I don't have anything that's in between small girly shoes and full covering shoes. So hiking boots it is. Because when you're walking around, there's a lot of broken glass, there's a lot of metal, there's a lot of pieces sticking out all over the place. And so the last time that I went, I was wearing flats, and it was a really bad idea. So definitely don't recommend. Plus, there's like little crevices and nooks and crannies, and spiders and snakes and stuff can get in there. So, safety is key. So anyway, we're going to pack everything up, we're going to head on out, and we're going to see what we see at the junkyard today. So we headed out, and we were driving out towards Bithlo, which is east of Orlando. There's a lot of salvage yards and junkyards out there, a lot of pasture. While we were on our way to our favorite auto salvage yard in the area. We saw a different one that we've never been to before, and we stopped there because they had a school bus in the front and we could see RVs in the back, and we're like, ooh, that could be a really good option. We're looking for tanks and, you know, some other miscellaneous things that RVs would have. So we stopped in, and all salvage yards are a little bit different. Some charge entrance fees, some don't. The prices vary. It just really depends on where you're going. This particular yard charged a $2 entrance fee per person. And so we paid, and then we got into the yard, and it was swamped, quite literally. It was probably calf-deep water through most of it. It had rained really heavily the day before. It was about 100 degrees when we got there, so it was hot and incredibly humid, and this water was just stagnant all over the place. And so we kind of weaved our way back about halfway back through the yard because the RVs were all in the very, very back, and it was so wet and so difficult to navigate that we really ended up deciding that it just wasn't worth it. And if we found anything in the RVs that we wanted, we'd have to wade back through to get up to the front with whatever we were carrying. And so we just decided that yard was not worth it at all. Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
So then we went to our favorite auto salvage yard, and this is JB's Auto, and we like it. It's a surprisingly clean salvage yard, you know, as far as salvage yards can be, and it's big, they've got shade, it's very dry, and all of the people that work there are super, super friendly. And so we walked in. This particular one is free to enter the yard, which we really like. And so we got in, checked it out, and we found a 2004 Freestar minivan. And that is the one that we decided we wanted the seat out of. The windows were still intact, so the seats were relatively clean.
What we want in a driver's seat is a seat that will slide forward and back, so it should be adjustable because Katy and I have different body sizes. So we need something that is fully adjustable. This one seems to fit the bill exactly. We also want a seat that rests even on the ground, so what we want is for these bolt down spots on the seat to basically be even with each other as much as possible. Driving the bus requires a taller seat than anything we would find in a van or a pickup truck. So we're going to have to raise the seat, and again, that's going to be easier if that bottom bracket that's holding the seat to the van is as flat as possible on the bottom, so that we have as much flexibility as possible when we put it in the bus. Another consideration is that it has an attached seat belt buckle, and what we may do, I just happen to know that this is not the same type of buckle that we have. So if this works, it works.
We're gonna take the buckle.
And so what we want to do is take the buckle.
Cool.
Which is, more annoying than taking the seat out. But, one thing at a
We
time.
could just cut the strap and get the buckle.
Or we could do that.
We're gonna have to do that anyway because it needs to be extra long because of where it connects.
That's
We're
true.
using the existing seatbelt, and so.
That's true. Okay, so we'll cut the seat belt, and we'll grab the buckle, and we will undo the bolts. Here it looks like it's just 4 bolts, and then with it we will have to unhook the electrical connections underneath the seat, and then we just got to carry it out. And pay for it. We'll see. Okay.
And all in all, it was in pretty good shape. The seat moves. It was just secured with 4 bolts to the bottom, which were really easy to get off. We just needed a socket wrench and 2 different size sockets. So all in all, it was probably the easiest thing that we've ever pulled out of a junkyard, and that was awesome. Okay, so once you have the part that you want, or that you found what you're looking for, you need to take it out, which in our case was the seat, and Then usually salvage yards have like an inventory number that is written on the side of the vehicle. In our case, it was a 5-digit number. So you need to make sure that you grab that number and have that with you when you go up to the front with your part. The guys will ask for it, and that is usually because different kinds of vehicles, different years, different part types, all of that's going to affect the price that they give you. So you need that inventory number so they know what vehicle it's coming out of. So we had our seat, we had our inventory number, we get up to the front and they will quote you a price, and there is usually some room to haggle and negotiate. I don't think we've ever found a place where the prices are set in stone, so if you feel comfortable with it, totally go for it. You can usually get a cheaper price than what they originally quote you. If you haven't found what you're looking for, ask the guys, or the ladies, if there are any working there, and they usually know most of the stuff that is in their yard. And so the other thing that we were looking for in addition to a front seat was a jump seat. And we knew that Land Rovers had jump seats, but we didn't know if anything else did. So we asked the guys up front if they had any Land Rovers, which they did not, but we told them that we were looking for jump seats specifically, and they were able to point out what types of vehicles have jump seats, which ones they had, where in the lot they were, and actually walked us over to a couple of them to see a few different options that they had. None of them met our criteria for what we were looking for, but they were very helpful in trying to help us find the items that we were looking for. So, paid for it, everything's dandy, loaded up in your car, and then pretty much ready to go. So this is our brand new seat. We paid around about $40 for it. There was some wiggle room, so we did negotiate down a little bit. And yeah, so this is the seat. It does need to be cleaned because, you know, it was sitting in a junkyard, so it's a little dirty. But definitely kind of on the plastic bits, it needs a good cleaning, and it needs a really good deep steam clean, which is just because it's a fabric seat sitting in a junkyard out in Florida. It's got some dirt and all of that kind of stuff, but all in all, it's in pretty good shape. Like I said, we need to clean it, we need to install it. We're going to do that in an upcoming video, so, you know, check back and see what we're doing with our seats. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff from us, and we will see y'all in the next one. Bye.